Hello. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again. This is Fiona from COXO. And about this time, we invite Professor Dr. Wally from Syria, and he will come to share his experience and his knowledge to our dentist friends. Okay, about this course, the topic is dental irrigation. And before our course, I want to introduce our certificates first. Okay. About the certificate, we have each time we will have prepared the certificate to our dentist friend. And we have some steps to get the certificates. The first step, our dentist friend need to follow and like COXO page. And the second step, please leave your comments or questions below the live videos. And when you leave the questions and also have time, can get our lucky draw, and hope you can become our lucky person. At the end of the live, we will share the form link to the comment below the live video. Please open the link and fill the form and submit to apply for the certification. For these 3 steps all done, in 5 days, you will receive the PDF format certificate in your email. And we also have some note. The form application can be filled only one time, so please be confirmed your all information is correct. And the certificate only have 5 hours after the lecture. And after the 5 hours, the application will be closed. So after that time, we couldn't accept any application. So please fill in your information as soon as possible. And the form cannot be modified. Please make sure your information all correct. And there is a pictures for our lecture. Okay. And there is introduced for our lecture. About this time, we are very happy can invite Dr. Wally to introduce his experience to us. So now let us invite Dr. Wally to share his experience to us. Oh, maybe Dr. Wally has some problems in his laptop and need to wait some minutes. It doesn't matter, we can introduce more information to you. For this time, we prepared the lucky draw to our dentist friend. This is our endofiler SC Pro. About the endofiler is a very hostile product in our company. And the endofiler is very soft but very sharp. And we also have assorted to our dentist friend. Only one package can finish your all endo treatment. So this is a very good product to our dentist friends. Okay, now let's invite Dr. Wally to share the lecture to us. Hello, Dr. Wally.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Wow, this is your home. Below here always have a LED light. It's very professional.
Professional, yeah.
Yes. And now it's your lecture time. So please share your lecture to our dentist friend. Maybe they are couldn't wait to learn the knowledge as soon as possible.
Okay,
Yes.
just let me share my screen. Is it showing now?
Sorry, no pictures.
Now it's showing now.
Okay, he is loading out.
Is it okay now?
Yes, it's okay.
We can start.
Yes, you can start. Okay,
Okay,
now
hello
it's your time to start the lecture.
Okay, thank you, Fiora.
Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. Let me just first thank COXO company for inviting me today. Today I am here to tell you something about dental irrigation, some secrets about the irrigation. The secrets of irrigation. First of all, what is irrigation? What is the meaning of irrigation? Actually, irrigation is often regarded as the most important part of endodontics treatment. So during and following your instrumentation, irrigation solution facilitate the killing and removal of microorganisms, necrotic, and inflamed tissue and dental debris. What is the purpose of irrigation? Why we should do irrigation while we do root canal treatment? The purpose of irrigation actually flush out debris, dissolve the organic tissue, dissolve inorganic tissue, lubricate the canal, dissolve the smear layer that formed during your instrumentation and preparation, and antimicrobial effects and low surface tension. So let's first talk about the characteristic of an ideal endodontics irrigant solutions. This must have effective germicide and fungicide, non-irritating the periapical tissue. So when I'm irrigate, if there is something go beyond the apex, it should not irritate the periapical tissue, not irritate the bone, remain stable in solution, have a prolonged antimicrobial effects, active in the presence of blood and serum. And actually, this is very important because I think all of our cases, even if it's vital or necrotic, there is a blood, there is a buzz inside the canal. So I need my irrigant solution to be active in the presence of blood and serum to be able to completely remove the smear layer, have low surface tension, able to disinfect the dentin and its tubules, don't stain tooth structure. And actually, this is very important. I'm not going to make root canal treatment and doing irrigation, and after that, the tooth will be black or brown or something like this. So it must not stain the tooth structure. Don't induce any cell mediation immune response, be non-carcinogenic, and have no adverse effect to the physical properties of exposed dentin. This is very important, and have no adverse effect on the sealing ability of filling materials. To be easy application, to be and cheap, inexpensive, and do not interfere with the repair of apical tissue. So, what types of irrigation solution are available for root canal treatment? Actually, there are several irrigation solutions used to accomplish different tasks for root canal system disinfection. This includes sodium hypochlorite, ADTA acid, citric acid, normal saline, chlorhexidine, H2O, and blah blah blah. We have too many kind and types of irrigant solution. Let's start by sodium hypochlorite. You know, sodium hypochlorite is the best, is the king in irrigant solution. Sodium hypochlorite actually the most common irrigant. We all use it in our clinical in our daily work. The allergy is actually very rare. The concentration of the sodium hypochlorite is between 0.5 and 5.25%. Dissolve vital and necrotic tissue, antimicrobial action, lubricating the action, and it's cheap. The sodium hypochlorite, let's talk about the efficiency. Let's talk first about the concentration. We all know that higher concentration mean higher effect. So if I have a sodium hypochlorite with high concentration, the efficiency will be better, high effect. But I have to know that in concentration, the higher concentration will lead to more toxic. So if I have, for example, sodium hypochlorite accident, if the concentration is very high, the toxic will be more actually. About the volume, of course, more volume means more efficiency. Heating, if you heat the sodium hypochlorite, the efficiency will be better. And of course, activation make the sodium hypochlorite more efficiency. Actually, let's see this video about the sodium hypochlorite and how it can dissolve the pulp tissue. This is two pulp tissue actually, and I have here two sodium hypochlorite. The red one is the concentration is 2%, and the blue, the percentage, the concentration is 5.25%. Let's see. Sorry. Let's see here. I start to put sodium hypochlorite in both. Sodium hypochlorite 2%, the red and the blue 5.25%. We start sodium hypochlorite. Look, after 1 minute, 2 minutes, in the high concentration, it starts to dissolve. In 2%, there's no dissolving of the pulp tissue yet. Look, you can see the difference. It's about 3 minutes. All the pulp tissue dissolved in 5.25%, the concentrate. While here in 2%, still 4 minutes and not dissolved. 5 minutes, it start to dissolve, but not full. 6 minutes. You see, in lower concentration, I need more time. It's 7 minutes and still 8 minutes. It's 9 minutes. You see, it needs about more than 10 minutes to dissolve all the pulp tissue. You can see 11 minutes, while in high concentration, just 3 or 4 minutes, full dissolve. Okay, let's talk about the heating. Well, actually, heating sodium hypochlorite increase its efficiency, as we said. But once delivered to canal, it reach body temperature. What does it mean? Actually, some doctors, some dentists try to heat the sodium hypochlorite outside, okay? Then bring it with the glass, for example, and try to put injection or syringe and pull and try to irrigate. Well, actually, it's not very good way. Why? Because this sodium hypochlorite, when you bring it from this glass to the tooth, once it delivered to the canal, it reach body temperature. So no need here. So I think we have to heat sodium hypochlorite inside the canal, not outside it. So I have to put sodium hypochlorite inside the canal, then try to have a system B, try to put it inside the canal and try to heat the sodium hypochlorite inside the canal. It's made more efficiency. Let's see here in this study the efficacy of selected sodium hypochlorite heating methods for increasing and maintaining intracanal temperature. Actually, in this study, they use sodium hypochlorite 0.5%, okay, and they try to heat it. When they reach, look here, when they reach to 20, 20 degree, the dissolved tissue is 30%. When they heated more to 45 minutes, the dissolved tissue were 70%. When they heated more, 60 degree, the dissolved tissue reached to 90%. So more you heat, more you can make the sodium hypochlorite more efficiency. Actually, one point very important in this article that when they use sodium hypochlorite 0.5% and they heated to 45%, this start to dissolve the tissue exactly as if you use sodium hypochlorite 5.25% without any heating. So what I'm telling you that if you need to use sodium hypochlorite with low concentration, you can heat it to make it more efficient. Let's talk about the sodium hypochlorite accident. And actually, this is a very, very bad thing. This is a nightmare, actually. What is sodium hypochlorite accident? Sodium hypochlorite accident occurs when there is extravasation of this irrigant solution beyond the apex, leading to tissue necrosis. This manifests as severe pain, burning, rapid tissue swelling, bleeding from the periapical tissue. So you were working, doing root canal treatment, for example, making instrumentation, irrigation. After that, suddenly the patient will say, doctor, I have a pain. And you will see that the blood is coming from the canal. The patient will feel pain, will feel burning, swelling. This is, you have to know that you made a sodium hypochlorite accident. Okay, if I did sodium hypochlorite accident, what should I do? Actually, stop using sodium hypochlorite irrigation. Stop your irrigation. After that, try to make intracanal suction. Put your suction, try just to have a suction with a tip, very small and thin tip. Put it inside the canal and try to intercanal suction. Try to suck all the sodium hypochlorite. After that, immediately irrigate the canal with normal saline. And actually, I prefer cold normal saline if it's available. That's why, because you can dilute the sodium hypochlorite. After that, you can advise ice pack compression for 24 hours. Then after this 24 hours, you can recommend warm compress. After that, you can give antibiotics and analgesics. And actually, the most important thing in sodium hypochlorite accident, just to calm down and just relax and tell your patient what you did. Did him, be honest with him, tell him that this happened with all doctors. It's normal. You will feel now pain. You will feel that there's swelling here. You will feel your skin will be yellow, blue. You will need 2 weeks to heal. Tell him everything. Okay, let's talk now about the second one, the second irrigant solution, EDTA 70%. This can remove the smear layer. And this is actually the most important thing in EDTA because we know that in sodium hypochlorite, it can't remove the smear layer, while here we can remove smear layer by using EDTA. This cannot remove this cannot remove organic tissue, but can remove the inorganic tissue. EDTA don't kill bacteria. The most thing important in EDTA is to know that it can erode dentin in long time exposure. So we can't use it in a long time. Let's talk now about the smear layer. What is a smear layer? The smear layer is a surface accumulation of debris formed from dentin during your instrumentation and your preparation. It's composed of organic, inorganic components, consists of dentin particles, remains of necrotic tissue, vital tissue, bacteria, retent irrigants, everything. So The question is, should we remove it or leave it? Actually, this is still controversial issue. Some research suggests to remove it, others suggest to leave it. Some research say it's an infection and we have to remove it, while others say it can be a protection to the bacteria invasion into the dentinal tubules. Well, actually, about me, I prefer to remove it. Why? Why should we remove smear layer? Actually, microorganisms that stay in dentinal tubules may use the smear layer as a substrate to grow again. So in my opinion, I think we have to remove this smear layer. It may interfere with the effectiveness of root canal irrigants, of course. Why? Because you know that smear layer is exactly above the dentinal tubules, so it can interfere with the effectiveness of root canal irrigants. Maybe the sodium hypochlorite will not be able to go inside the tubules. Why? Because there is a smear layer, so I suggest we need to remove it. Number three is better adaptation for canal wall with obturation material. Of course, if I don't have the smear layer, the obturation material, the sealer will adhere better to the dentin. Look to this photo. Actually, this photo taken by microscope. It's a electronic microscope. You can see in A, there is a smear layer, while in B, we remove the smear layer by using the EDTA. You can see in P, there is dentinal tubules. It's clear, it's obvious. So if I put here sodium hypochlorite, it can go inside this dentinal tubules and clean it. While in A, I can do this because there is a smear layer. Okay, let's talk now about chlorhexidine 2%. Um, Chlorhexidine has broad spectrum of antimicrobial activity with sustained release, and this is very important. Little toxicity, antimicrobial action, effective against Enterococcus facilis, and this is very important because actually sodium hypochlorite can't kill this Enterococcus facilis well. Chlorhexidine can't remove smear layer. Sodium hypochlorite can do it too, while just EDTA can do it, can dissolve the necrotic tissue. And you have to know that chlorhexidine with sodium hypochlorite will give you the parachlorolamine. We will talk about it. What is parachlorolamine? Mixing chlorhexidine and sodium hypochlorite forms a precipitate. This precipitate called parachlorolamine. It's like orange brown in color, and this compound has also been shown to be toxic and classified as a carcinogen. So I don't need any time to just mix chlorhexidine and sodium hypochlorite. Let's see here this video. I have here this video about the parachloramine. You can see here this is the sodium hypochlorite. Okay, and after that I will add some drop of uh, the chlorhexidine. Let's see what will happen. Sodium hypochlorite, then I will add chlorhexidine. You can see this is the parachloramine. This is with orange or black or brown, maybe like this. You can see this is the precipitate, so I don't need to mix it at all. We need to make it separated. You can see this is what will happen when you mix or when you irrigate sodium hypochlorite, then put chlorhexidine. This is normal saline. What is normal saline? This irrigant can be used as a final rinse to remove all the chemical irrigants that left in the canal. And actually, we can use it to separate between the sodium hypochlorite, for example, and chlorhexidine. It's biocompatible, very biocompatible. If you go with normal saline beyond diabetes, there will not be a problem, big problem. Lubricant of root canal, but actually normal saline can't kill bacteria and can't remove the smear layer. So, how to make irrigation? But first, let me tell you something. Now we talk about sodium hypochlorite, we talk about EDTA, we talk about chlorhexidine, we talked about normal saline, and we talked about the characteristic of the ideal irrigant solution. And actually, at least at this moment, we don't have idle irrigant solution. What does it mean? We can't say that I will use just chlorhexidine. No, I can't. I will use just sodium hypochlorite. No, I can't. Why? Because this all characteristic of idle irrigant solution, not just in sodium hypochlorite, or not available in just normal saline, or not available in chlorhexidine. So, for example, let's say sodium hypochlorite. If I will use just sodium hypochlorite, the cleaning will be okay. I'm going to kill bacteria, but I will not be able to remove smear layer. Okay, if I will use just EDTA, I will be able to remove smear layer, but I can't kill bacteria, I can't remove the organic tissue. So if I have to make a good irrigation, I need to use more than one irrigant solution. Now, how to make irrigation? Let's talk now about the types of irrigation needle. Which irrigation needle is used in Indo irrigation? Actually, there are various needle sizes are available, but most commonly used are the 27 and 30 gauge needles. Look to this photo. This is 27 gauge with long head and 27 gauge with short head, and this is 30 gauge short and extra short. Okay, the types of irrigation needle. This slide actually is very important. We have many types of irrigation needles. We have let's see, A, this one is open-ended flat. B, open-ended beveled. C, open-ended notched. C, close-ended side vented. E, double vented. And F, close-ended multiple vented. Well, actually, about me, I don't use and I don't prefer you to do irrigation with A, B, and C. Actually, I don't like to use A and B and C because there will be more possible to make sodium hypochlorite accident. I use D and I use E and F. Actually, I feel that E may break, so I prefer to use D and E. And I use actually the most D style. Vented side or normal, actually don't ever try to use a normal irrigation, normal side. Try always to do vented side to avoid or to minimize the sodium hypochlorite accident. Needles are made from stainless steel and nickel titanium, or sometimes of flexible material like polyamide, like this photo. The flow through the needle is gently applied pressure on touched syringe. So we have two kind of needles, stainless steel or nickel titanium and flexible. I prefer to use flexible actually, the polyamide. It can go with the curvature canals and it can't be break. So I prefer it. The pressure, we know we have 5 milli, 5 cc, 3 cc, 1 cc. I prefer the middle one, 3 millimeter. Okay, let me give you some tips for irrigation. This is a clinical tips for irrigation. Number one, the needle should place loosely in the canal. So don't try to put your needle inside the canal and make well engagement with the wall and try to push. No, in this case, you absolutely will have sodium hypochlorite accident. Number two, the irrigation technique must be drop by drop and not continuous flushing, especially in sodium hypochlorite. So try to make irrigation drop by drop slowly. Don't don't use your muscle in irrigation. No need for that. Number three, use index finger to press the needle instead of your thumb. Why? Because this is less force to avoid the sodium hypochlorite accident. Number four, the irrigant will not go more than 1 millimeter away from the tip of the needle. What does it mean? Actually, I saw some of my friends, some dentists, just put the tip of the irrigation, the tip of the irrigant, just put it in the pulp chamber or put it just in the orifice of the canal and try to irrigate. What are you doing? I'm irrigating the canal. Well, actually, you are not irrigating the canal, you are irrigating the bulb chamber. Why? Because the irrigant will not go more than 1 millimeter away from the tip. So you need to put your tip inside the canal and go to the working length or minus just 2 millimeters. Number five, don't mix irrigant. I will repeat it again because it's very important. Don't ever try to mix irrigant, especially sodium hypochlorite and chlorhexidine. Try to separate. Try to use normal saline between them. Special care in open apex. Of course, in open apex, you have to take care. Why? Because you may have the sodium hypochlorite accident. Try to make irrigation 2 or 3 or 4 millimeters away from the uh, working length. Number seven, you must use the rubber stopper with the needle. Of course, if I have working length 20 millimeters, for example, I will use my rubber stop on 20 or 90 or 80 and to try to start irrigation. If I don't have rubber stopper, I will may go to 21, 22 and make irrigation inside the pond. So you must use the rubber stopper with the needle. Let's talk now about the time for each irrigant. Sodium hypochlorite, still controversial actually, but about me, I think 30 minutes is reasonable and it's okay. I do 30 minutes just when sodium hypochlorite, when I can make the sodium hypochlorite reach to the full working length, I can say I will start my 30 minutes. Okay, not just when I put sodium hypochlorite in the bulb chamber, I will start my 30 minutes. No, when I will be able to reach all the sodium hypochlorite inside the canal to all the working length, I will start my 30 minutes. About EDTA, I think 1 millimeter, 1 minute is very enough, no more that. Why? Because more than this, it may erode the dentin, and I don't want this. Chlorhexidine not reported. About me, I use it 1 minute. That's enough. At the end, I will tell you about my protocol and how I can when I use chlorhexidine. Okay, let's talk about the ways of irrigation. We have positive irrigation and we have negative irrigation. Positive pressure irrigation, actually, this is what we do in our clinic. This is what you do in your daily routine work, applying a pressure to distribute the irrigant to the canal system. So in positive pressure irrigation, you just put the side-vented needle inside the canal and start pressure the sodium hypochlorite, for example, and you put your suction in bulb chamber. So it's what we do every day. While the negative pressure irrigation is the opposite. Instead of applying positive pressure, we use a suction to pull the irrigant down to the apex. So in negative pressure irrigation, we put the suction with a tip, very thin tip. We put it inside the canal to the working length. Then I put the sodium hypochlorite tip in the bulb chamber and try to irrigate just on the bulb chamber. The suction will pull down the irrigant. And actually, this is need special equipment. We need high volume suction. Why? Because I will put the suction inside the canal, at the end of the canal, all the working ends. So I need high volume suction to suck all the sodium hypochlorite from the bulb chamber. And I need apical preparation must be not under 30. Why? To make this suction reach to the full working length. Okay, let's see now this device, CRCC from COXO company. Actually, this device is very, very useful and it's a great device actually. It lets you do irrigation, do suction, do drying canal, do positive pressure flushing, negative pressure flushing, heating the irrigant. Let's see. We will see this video to know exactly what CRCC, how it works. Sorry. Let's see. This is the device. We have here, we have some options. If we write here, we can see here, this is a continuous irrigation and suction. You can see The design is very perfect hand feel and easy to hold on. Oh, sorry, again, sorry. You can see this is the device. You can use sodium hypochlorite in one box and other one normal saline, for example. It's easy to use. In this, we can heat the irrigant. Look, the heating temperature is controlled within 50 degrees. This is very important. I can do heating for sodium hypochlorite inside the canal. You can see we have two tip. We have tip A for irrigation. We have tip A and tip B. Let's see tip A. This is tip A. Tip A, as you see here, we have two holes, the farther one and the shorter one. The farther one will give me the sodium hypochlorite, the irrigant, and the shorter one will be the suction. So I can make positive irrigation in this step. Look, the sodium hypochlorite, it goes from the canal and suction from the shorter tip. We can remove more debris in this situation. You can see here, this is tip A, positive irrigation. And I can use the system, the tip B here, this tip here. The tip B is the opposite for negative pressure irrigation. You can see we have two hole. See, we have two hole here. The further hole, okay, that will be on the canal, inside the canal, will be just like a suction. And the shorter one will give me the sodium hypochlorite, and this will suck all the sodium hypochlorite inside the canal. Look, it's negative pressure irrigation. The sodium hypochlorite will come from the top, from the bulb chamber, and will suck it. Here we have single suction. After I finish all my irrigation protocol, I can press a button for just suction. We will suction all the irrigant, drying the canal, and it will be ready for obturation. So I think this device is very important in irrigation. It can make for pressure, positive, negative heating, everything. But why I need negative pressure irrigation? Actually, in negative pressure irrigation, less sodium hypochlorite accident. Why? Because I will put the suction in the all the working length. So it will suck all the sodium hypochlorite or the irrigant. Nothing will go beyond the apex. And so this is less post-operative pain, more efficient in cleaning isthmus, cleaning lateral canals, anastomosis, and this is a kind of activation. Actually, the movement of this irrigant is a kind of irrigation. I will put the irrigant, for example, in the bulb chamber, and the suction will suck it and go again. This movement is a kind of activation. Negative pressure irrigation actually very safety in open apex and safety in dangerous area like the maxillary sinus or IAN, inferior alveolar nerve. Now let's talk about the activation. What is activation? The meaning of activation. It's the dynamic movement of irrigant inside the canal that increase the efficiency to penetrate into canal system and lateral canals. So compared to traditional method, activation in endodontic irrigation allow more through disinfection of root canal system. You can see this study, this articles about unprepared root canal surface area. This is a CT scan study actually. This study showed me that if I prepare on 4% or 6% rotary file, I will not be able to touch all the wall of the canal. So even if I make irrigation, I will not be able to touch or to put this sodium hypochlorite, for example, inside the anastomosis, this isthmus, for example. So in this case, I need activation to try to make this irrigant reach to every anastomosis and lateral canal. Why I need to make activation? Why I can just say, let's make irrigation and no need for activation? Actually, root canal system have several irregularities, such like isthmus, lateral canals, ramification, and delta that can be held or cleaned with the regular irrigation. So activation is very necessary. Why activation? Look to this photo, for example. This is a canal system. It's not just about the white line. You have here the anastomosis, the lateral canal, the loop. Look to this case. Lateral canal here, anastomosis, here, anastomosis. So I need actually activation. So what is the techniques or what are the techniques or activation? We have manual, dynamic activation, sonic activation, ultrasonic activation, negative apical pressure, heating, and laser activation system. We will talk about them. Number one, manual dynamic activation. Actually, this one is the cheapest method. You can do it. Everyone can do it. You will just need to irrigate with sodium hypochlorite, for example. Then use master cone of gutta. Just cut 2 millimeters from the tip and place it inside the canal and just try to start up and down motion, up and down strokes. Just 100 strokes per 1 minute. It's enough, and you will make a good activation. Let's see this video to know how to make manual dynamic activation. Here we place a master. We are activating now. You see, just up and down motion, up and down motion. It's easy, cheap, and available for everyone. Number two, sonic activation. Sonic activation actually need sonic device. Use vibrating movement 1500 hertz to 6000 hertz per second. Just after using the sodium hypochlorite, just place the tip into the canal and switch it on. And actually, sonic activation safety and less risk of making perforation as compared with ultrasonic system. Let's see this video. This is about the sonic activation. Actually, you can see here, uh, here after preparing an access cavity, you see this is activation for the bulb chamber. Here now I can negotiate the canals after that preparation. Now see, there is a sodium hypochlorite and activation. You can see this is a sonic activation. We put the tip inside the canal and try to just start the device. It's very effective actually. That's it. Ultrasonic activation. Here in ultrasonic activation, the vibration movement will be 20,000 hertz per second and more. So majority of study actually prefer the ultrasonic compared with sonic, but it's just that more risk of perforation as compared with sonic activation. We have here the device from COXO company, Ultra. This device, Ultra Smart, is using for activation. Let's start the video. You can see here, this is the tooth, Ultra Smart. It's into ultrasonic activation. You can see here the activation. Notice what is going out from the tooth, all the debris. It's very effectiveness. And we will talk about Ultra Smart and the modes. That's so Ultra Smart actually built in LED light. It's easily observe the treatment area, easily to observe the orifice to see the bulb chamber. Ultra Smart actually have three working modes. We have the high, the medium, and the low. High power mode, we can use it to remove broken file or broken instrument. We when we have a broken instrument, we have to dig around this broken instrument or just in the inner wall with ultrasonic. device. This ultra smart in the high power can do it in middle mode. Actually, this is for normal irrigation for ultrasonic activation, and the low mode is just a smaller tip. It's used when we have a small canal, or let's say a narrow, very narrow canal. We can use ultra smart with low mode. And please don't touch the wall. This is very important actually when you use the ultrasonic activation. Look here, this is the activation of the ultrasonic. You can see I just put sodium hypochlorite, then put my device, my tip, ultra smart for example, and switch it on. Look, when you use ultrasonic, try to put the tip inside the canal and try not to touch the wall, okay? Not to make perforation or something. Look, this is the activation in ultrasonic. Negative apical pressure, we talked about this. It's just like a CRCC device that we put the suction inside the canal and the sodium hypochlorite in the bulb chamber, and it will suck all the sodium hypochlorite. The main advantage actually is the safety. Many studies have proven that irrigation solution will not extrude to the periapical area. So this device, I can use it with open apex, for example. Let's see here the negative apical pressure. This is a root canal irrigation by CRCC from COXO company. You can see here. Here I can use the tip A. Here we use tip A. Use it tip A, as we said, for positive pressure irrigation. We can see this tip. We have two holes, as we said. The further one here in tip A will give me the sodium hypochlorite, and the shorter one will give me the suction in the pulp chamber section. You can see it's easy and effective. We can use it between each file of preparation. When I prepare between each file and file, I will make irrigation. Here, after that, I will go to tip B. Tip B used for after file preparation. As we said, type A for positive pressure irrigation, type B for negative pressure irrigation. Here, actually, this tip will have two holes. The further one will be the suction, and the shorter one will be for giving the sodium hypochlorite, as we see here. Look, the further hole suck all the sodium hypochlorite. This is for negative pressure irrigation, very effective, more than the positive actually, and more safe. You can see this hole will give me the sodium hypochlorite. The sodium hypochlorite will be inside the pulp chamber, and the further one will suck all the sodium hypochlorite. This movement of the irrigant, a kind of activation. And at the last, the laser activation system. It's a new modern technique promising for removing smear layer and dent and debris in less time than ultrasonic system. This is very important actually, because in ultrasonic I need time. I need to make 30 minutes, for example. They said that in laser it will be faster, but it needs studies. Look here, this is the laser activation system. I put here sodium hypochlorite and I put the tip of the laser and activate. You can see just a little touch and activate, and it's effective actually. So now let's see this survey, American Association of Endodontics survey, what irrigant most dentists use. We see we have a lot of irrigant solution. We have survey here from American Association. Actually, the result was expected. Number one is sodium hypochlorite. It's 97%. Number two, EDTA, 80%. And number three, chlorhexidine. And there is another survey actually that sodium hypochlorite in which concentration most of the doctors actually use sodium hypochlorite with 5 and more percent. So the most irrigant that dentists use is actually the sodium hypochlorite. Activation, I just want to tell you about this study in Australian Endodontic Journal, effective of different final irrigation protocol on pulp tissue dissolution from an isthmus model. This is very important actually and very useful article. In this article, they use 6 system, syringe and needle, just syringe and needle without any activation, subsonic and sonic and ultrasonic and heating with sonic and heating with ultrasonic. The results. Actually, syringe and needle group shown the lower value of pulp tissue dissolution when compared to the other groups. Subsonic shown lower pulp tissue dissolve and no difference between sonic and ultrasonic, and the pulp tissue dissolution was significantly higher when heating was followed by sonic or ultrasonic. So we can say from this study that the best technique or the best method for activation is
Hello, everyone. Maybe Dr. worried the internet has some bad. Now we are contacting with him, so maybe need to wait some minutes, and later we will show some videos to you, because just now about the videos for CRCC, the irrigation and suction system, uh, about the videos, no voice, so we want to share the videos again. Okay, please wait. We will try to find the videos. Hello.
I told you about my cat. I said cat actually. He jumped onto the laptop and disconnect all the connection. Oh, sorry.
Okay,
This happened.
just
Yes.
a
I
just a
just
small mistake. It doesn't matter.
no. I will just I have to tell him the my final protocol and I will finish.
Okay, and about the lecture, you always have some ending.
Yeah. I will thank
Okay,
him.
okay. Please share your lecture. Continue. Because just now we hear the lecture very strictly and hear no more knowledge, but later you have stop and down. So it's
Okay,
very
I am ready.
certainly.
I am ready. Let's
Yes.
let's go
Okay,
online again.
so you always have some small note with our dentist friend, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if
Okay,
there's a
please
question,
continue.
ask me. Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Yeah. I'm so sorry actually for this mistake. Uh,
Okay, can continue.
we reach for this study actually for activation, as we said, the best technique for activation is to make internal heating with ultrasonic. It will give you the best result. And at the end, I will just talk about my final irrigation protocol. Actually, this is what I use in my daily endo routine. I use sodium hypochlorite, 5.25%, 3 cc. I heated 2 seconds, and after that, I make uh, ultrasonic activation 30 to 60 seconds. And after that, I repeat this again, sodium hypochlorite, 5.25%, activation with heating. Then after that, ultrasonic. After that, I use EDTA, 70%, 3 cc, and I activate actually the EDTA for 30 or 260 seconds with ultrasonic. After that, I use again sodium hypochlorite 5.25, then activate again, heating and ultrasonic. And at the end, I use normal saline 3 cc as a final irrigation, final flush. But if I have a vital case, I use normal saline as a final. If I have a case, let's say necrotic or retreatment, I prefer to use chlorhexidine 2% as a final irrigation, final flush. After that, you can go to obturation. This is my final irrigation protocol actually in all my cases. And at the end, I want to thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, I will be able to answer. I think I finished.
Okay. Hello, could you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay. Okay, about the course is very good. And just now I also hear very strictly. And I know from dentists they have many steps to make irrigation. For traditional irrigation, they will use the methods, right? And then they have machine can to make the irrigation together, like COXO products, the Ultra Smart, and the irrigation and suction system, the CRCC.
Yes,
Yes, and for your lecture, the irrigation steps also very clearly, and you
yeah.
add some pictures and the words to teach our dentist friends to make the irrigation step by step. It's very good.
Yeah, and actually, when you use this device,
Mm-hmm.
actually you don't need to irrigate anything. You just put the device; it will work alone by
Ah,
itself. It
okay.
will irrigate positive or negative. alone. So it's very
Mm,
useful and helpful and easy to use.
mm-hmm. Okay. Even I'm just a sales, but I also can know this knowledge very easy.
Yeah,
Yes, it's very easy to understand. I think for the new dentist also can understand more.
yeah, it will be easy and
Okay, and just now in the Facebook, some dentist friends has the leave some comments, and we will share the comments here and please answer these questions one by one.
okay. Wait, doctor, do you prefer positive or negative irrigation
Mm-hmm.
on specific device? Do you suggest? Well, actually, positive and negative is good. I about me, I use both. But if I want to choose positive or negative, actually I prefer to use negative because it's more safe and it's we can say it's a kind of activation. So if I have to choose just one, I prefer negative. And to use the device from COXO, it's easy to use both technique, positive and negative together. Any Hello, doctor. Do you suggest use of irrigants during instrumentation? And if yes, which irrigant do you suggest use? Liquid and saline and why? You see, I can't see some words because it's small. Can you make it during instrumentation? And if yes, which irrigant do you suggest to use? Sodium hypochlorite. Yes, I of course always when you use when you do preparation, you must use irrigation. You can do, let's say, preparation in a dry canal. I always, when I open, for example, the tooth, make access open cavity. After that, I put a drop of sodium hypochlorite and try to put my fires, even manual or rotary. While I'm preparation, I make a preparation. There is a fluid, there is a sodium hypochlorite or sometimes EDTA inside the canal. So I always use irrigation with preparation. But I can't say that I can say this is 30 minutes to start just after reaching all the working length. So after reaching all the sodium hypochlorite to all the working length, I can say we can start our 30 minutes for irrigation. Any other questions? What is the total amount of irrigation with all root canal irrigation access opening until obturation? Well, actually, this is a controversial question, actually, but irrigate as much as you can. Go and irrigate. Take your time. Actually, about me, when I open access cavity, let's say it take 2 or 3 minutes. Preparation, for example, all your preparation may take 10 minutes or less. So all your all your root canal treatment will take just 30 or 50 minutes. So take your time after that in irrigation. Try to reach 30, 45 minutes, no problem. Actually, I use 30 minutes. I use a lot of, maybe I use two cup of sodium hypochlorite, and the assistant called me Mr. Irrigation Man. Actually, I love irrigation. I irrigate as much as I can. How much is the optimum total? Can you read it? Actually, I can't see it well. Let me check my phone because the line is very. How much is the optimum total amount and line of irrigation liquid for? Yeah, it's better for each root canal irrigation. As I said, you can say after that, after finishing all the preparation and you can reach the sodium hypochlorite to all working length, You can say, let's say you can take 5 cc for each canal, and if you can more, it's better, but not less than this. Another question. Which is better, sonic or ultrasonic? For both things. Actually, I don't use both. About me, I prefer ultrasonic actually because it's more vibrating. So if I have to buy one device, sonic or ultrasonic, actually I will go with ultrasonic. Especially, you know that ultrasonic, you can use it for removing broken instrumentation and like this. So if I want to buy one device, I will go with ultrasonic, but both are okay. Nowadays they are using solution of sodium chloride and EDTA. What do you think? Well, actually, I don't prefer it. We know that sodium hypochlorite with EDTA will not give me any precipitate like chlorhexidine, but about me, I don't prefer to mix it together. Yes, I can say I make irrigation with sodium hypochlorite and then I bring the EDTA and go irrigation. Okay, but we can't say let's mix sodium hypochlorite and EDTA with one syringe and activate and irrigate, because I think it will interfere, each one interfere the other. So I don't prefer it actually. Dr. Karim, my friend, what's your review of on learning? Can you remove this? Just the blue? Yeah. What's your review on heating sodium hydrochloride with ultrasonic activation? Yeah, actually, this is my protocol. I usually I like to heat the sodium hydrochloride. So in the final irrigation protocol, I put sodium hypochlorite, then uh, I heat it with the system B. Then after that, immediately I will go with ultrasonic and activate. So I make it both heating with ultrasonic. And if you have just one heating, it's okay. I think that's it.
Okay, there are all questions. And
And
thank you for Dr. Wally to answer our dentist
you're
friends.
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, and today for the lecture is very good, and I think our dentist friend had learned more knowledge for dental irrigation.
Yes, and if they have any question, if they have
Mm-hmm,
another question, they can put a comment, and I
mm-hmm.
will reply as much as I can, or you can send it to Messenger. I will read.
Yes, and after the lecture, I always have some notes about our certificates.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, about the because for our Facebook webinar, we prepare some certificates to our dentist friend, and please don't forget to fill in your correct information in the certificate link, because the certificate link just can show about 5 hours after the lecture.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so there are all the knowledge and all the lecture for today webinar. And thank you, Dr. Worley, to share
Thank you,
his
Fiona.
experience to us.
Thank you, COXO Company, and thank you, Fiona. And we will hope that we will have another lecture at next
Yes,
time. Thank you and good night.
thank you. And
You're welcome.
maybe now is 10 p.m. for you.
Maybe yes, it's now 11. On
Ah,
Dubai, it's
11.
11. On
Okay, also
China,
very
on China,
late.
on China,
Now in
too
China
late.
is 3 a.m.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We also, for the lecture, we also learn more knowledge. So it doesn't matter for the time. So uh, also our pleasure can cooperate with you.
It's great.
Yes. Okay. Now,
Okay.
good night for you. Thank you for
Good
your
night.
lecture.
Thank you very much, Fiona. Thank you. See you.
Thank you. See you.
See you. Bye bye. See you.